in the GIBS Talk Law Season 1 on the theme Demystifying Law Courses, being organized by the Center for Legal Studies, Geeta Ratan International Business School. On behalf of CLS GIBS, I, Kavya Buddhiraja, Vice President, Legal Aid Cell, GIBS, extend a warm welcome to all of you to the third and the concluding episode of the GIBS Talk Law Season 1 on the topic Unlimited Opportunity of Integrated Law Courses. And I'm very much honored to announce that we have been graced by the presence of Ms. Aishwarya Bhati, Honorable Additional Solicitor General of India. Thank you so much, ma'am, for kindly joining us here today. It's indeed an honor to actually host you. Vakratunda Mahakaya. Thank you so much, ma'am. Vakratunda Mahakaya, Suryakoti Samaprabha, Nirvignam Kuru Meidev, Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada, which means, Hey Lord Ganesha, my humble prostrations to you, who is an embodiment of all wishes. Remembering you, I begin my studies, so that your grace and blessings shall bring success always. So it is always auspicious to begin every event by glorifying Lord Ganesha. So, with the blessings and support of our Honorable Chairman, Sir, Shri R.N. Jindal, let us all invoke Lord Ganesha by singing his Vandana together. Well, that was indeed a lovely start to this marvelous event that we'll be having shortly. Geeta Ratan International Business School was established in the year 2004. GIBS is affiliated to Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi, and is approved by All India Council for Technical Education, Ministry of HRD, Government of India for Technical Programs, and Bar Council of India for Law Programs. The institute is accredited as Category A by NAC in its second cycle and Category A+ by State Fee Regulatory Committee. Also, it has been rated the highest grading A by Joint Inspection Committee of Government of NCT of Delhi as well as of Guru Gobind Singh Indraprastha University, Delhi. GIBS has been rated grade A by the Academic Audit Cell of GGSIP University, and the institute conducts various programs under the head of MBA, MBA International Business, BBA, BBA LLB, as well as BA LLB. After the grand success of GIBS Talks of Management, which started in the year June 2020, we have now launched the GIBS Talk Law Season 1. GIBS Talk Law is an online program structured to discuss and showcase the main theme related to law, wherein there will be 3 episodes in each season, focusing upon 3 different sub-themes. Each topic will comprise of 60 minutes, wherein an eminent personality will enlighten us on the topic. Now, this 1-hour session is intended to be bifurcated into 2 parts, wherein the first 40 minutes will be focused upon the views of the guest, and the later 20 minutes will be for the question and answer session, wherein the audience will ask their questions from our distinguished guest. And the show will be aired on our social media channels. GIBS Talk Law on Demystifying Law courses caters to understand, analyze, and evaluate the current legal education system in India. This aims to understand the scope of the stream of law in the present education system. This ultimately leads to felicitation of the legal pedagogical decisions with respect to the needs and objectives with which a student enrolls in a law program in India. The last 2 episodes of the GIBS Talk Law were chaired by Professor Dr. Sri Krishna Deva Rao, Honorable Vice Chancellor, National Law University, Delhi, and Justice Anu Malhotra, Honorable Judge, Delhi High Court. Now let me take this wonderful opportunity to introduce our distinguished guest, Ms. Aishwarya Bhati, Honorable Additional Solicitor General of India. Ms. Aishwarya Bhati is the youngest women advocate to be designated as a senior advocate by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. She has also the distinction of being one of the youngest Additional Solicitor General of India and being only the 4th woman to occupy this esteemed position. Ma'am has a professional standing of 22 years at the bar. She was appointed as the Additional Solicitor General of India by the Supreme Court in June 2021 and earlier was designated as a senior advocate by the Supreme Court in March 2019. She was an advocate on record of the Supreme Court of India for 13 years prior to her designation as a senior advocate. She was also the former Additional Advocate General for the state of UP, that is Uttar Pradesh, in Supreme Court. She was the counsel for the High Court of Delhi in the Supreme Court, and she has also been the panel lawyer for the Supreme Court Legal Services Committee, Supreme Court Middle Income Group Legal Aid Society, and Amicus Curiae. She was also the Advocate General for the state of Uttar Pradesh, and the list goes on and on. Ma'am, it is indeed our honor to have you here with us today. Thank you for graciously accepting our invitation. I would now like to request our Honorable Head of Department Law, Professor Dr. B.K. Yadav, to kindly welcome our distinguished guest, Ms. Aishwarya Bhati, Additional Solicitor General of India. Over.
Ma'am, by your permission, I would like to introduce our VC sir to you. VC sir is already present. So VC sir, ma'am is our, very important resource person for today. And she is very reputed in this, webinar. She has been conducting these types of webinar for years and years. And ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yadav, and I welcome Aishwarya ma'am to the wonderful show which we are conducting from so many years now. Thank you so much for kindly accepting our invitation, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor and privilege.
Thank you, ma'am.
And ma'am, our VC sir is very energetic, and he has this philosophy to conduct these types of webinar and online shows and GIBS talks. So for last 4-5 years we have been conducting on his philosophy only, and he is in very confirmed belief that only practical education and practical talks will be the helpful for the student. So entire institution is going on his philosophy. So unfortunately, sir is out of station. So she is not able to, join lively. Otherwise, he should be very interested, and he was very, keen to listen you to joining from the Delhi. So shall I start welcome speech, ma'am? Kavya,
Please, sir.
good evening, everyone. I welcome to each and every one of you for being here with us. I extend my heartiest welcome to respected us Aishwarya Bhati ma'am, Solicitor General of India, and all the participants. I would like to pay my sincere gratitude to Sri R.N. Jindal sir, Chairman, Sri Anurij Jindal sir, Vice Chairman, respected Prachi Jindal ma'am, Academic Dean, and my fellow teachers for the support and motivation and encouragement. Geeta Ratan International Business School is hosting the GIBS Talk 2022-20 Season 1 Episode 3, and we are proud to be able to host it today here at this wonderful platform with all of you. GIBS Talk Show is an online program structured to discuss and showcase the main theme related to the law. The objective of this talk show is to provide a platform to the students where they can get a better understanding of the studying law and can got acquainted with the insight of the legal world. Before we get started, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation to all who have given us their valuable time and efforts to make this event a grand success. So, without taking much of your time, I would like to hand over the dice to the anchor to continue the event. I sincerely hope that this event will be enjoyable and full of learning for everyone. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to all of you.
Definitely, sir. Even I believe the same. And thank you so much for your kind words, sir. I would now like to request Ms. Aishwarya Bhati to kindly enlighten all of us on the topic unlimited opportunity of integrated law courses. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so very much, Kavya. My gratitude to you for such a generous introduction that you gave. It was quite unnecessary, but VC sir, kind of you to join despite being out of town. Professor Yadav, everybody else, the bright faces of Kalpana madam and Sakshi ma'am on the screen, and the entire family of the law school. I think it's a privilege for me to be sharing my experiences with you. So the topic that is assigned to me is the unlimited opportunity of integrated law courses. But before I share my experiences of the integrated law courses, I would certainly like to say something about the choice of law per se. You know, uh, about 28, 29 years back when we chose law, when I chose law used to be it was really not a choice for most people who chose to study law. People used to study law because they wanted to either continue in the university hostel so that they could continue with their room, or they wanted to contest elections in the university by maintaining some admission in the university. Law did not have its own faculties. We have had law faculties for ever since our law is one of the oldest professions. So even before independence, we've had law courses, but the traditional law faculties did not have their own infrastructure. Most of them used to run evening classes in the classrooms of either the commerce faculty or the arts faculty. And our classrooms used to be about 60 odd young boys, and in one corner about 4 or 5 young girls. That is how the law courses used to be some 28-30 years back. And if you chose law, your some relative or some neighbor would definitely walk up to your mother and say कि इसको कानून पढ़ाओगी तो इससे शादी कौन करेगा. So that was the perspective of law about 3 decades back. And it's very heartening to note that now young bright students are taking to law as a matter of choice. We have now so much of choice in the integrated law courses This was not existing before, and this was not existing because where there's no demand, there's no supply. So I think the reason why so many of our youngsters have taken to law is not because there are so many courses. I think it's the other way around, that so many of our young generation wants to take to law, and that is why we have so many law courses available with so many universities now. There are so many national law schools that are available. In those times, I mean, Bangalore had just started. That was the first 5-year integrated law course in the country. Otherwise, it was a 3-year law course after the graduation, and that is the manner in which it had continued. I firmly believe, I now having been a student of law who has practiced law for 25 years, I firmly believe that as a student of law, you choose a life to be a student for life. You become a student. So the real law teachers are the law teachers who are before us today, law teachers in the law universities, the academicians. Everybody else is a student of law. Kavya, people like you, your colleagues, you are students of law who are studying law. I am a student of law who's practicing law. Judges are students of law who are dispensing justice. It continues, the process continues. So one important facet of choosing to study law is that you are choosing the life of being a lifelong student. Secondly, I think law is, of course, it's not a pure science. It's not also a social science. I think law is the mixture of it's the cross section of where life meets law. The life of a student of law who chooses to practice law is that of a social teacher, is that of a social doctor, a social tailor, a social mason, a social cook, a social anything, any social act that you can think of. So that is really the role that a practicing lawyer occupies in the society. And despite all the jokes that are there for lawyers, there are lots of jokes on lawyers, and some of them are condescending also. But despite all that, the society still refers to lawyers as Vakil Sahab. That places an incredible responsibility. People don't come to lawyers in happiness. People don't come to lawyers in a jovial mood when they are in a celebratory phase of their life, or they're looking at something nice. People come to lawyers as last resort. People come to lawyers when they have really lost faith at every other place. In India especially, we don't have luxury litigation. वो जो आप torts में पढ़ते हो ना कि वो पड़ोसी की डाली या पड़ोसी के घर का पानी आ गया हमारे घर में और tort का केस कर दिया. It doesn't happen in India. In India, people come to courts only as last resort. So that places an incredible responsibility on the so-called Vakil Saabs, who you are choosing to study for. Now, how integrated law courses have really helped in this is, if you are focused on law, if law is your calling, or if you want to pursue law. Now, law is not a subject that closes doors for you. Of course, being a litigation lawyer is at the core of studying law, because then you are a student of law who's practicing law every day. But law is not a profession that closes doors for you. Law is a profession that opens doors for you, opens multiple doors for you. There are every corporate entity, every partnership entity, every proprietorship entity, everybody needs a lawyer to tell them how not to go on the other side of law. So there are law officers in the army, law officers in the defense forces, law officers in the best of the corporate houses, in the firms, in the, now there are a lot of these paralegal kind of works that is happening in outsourcing industry. A lot of international work is coming to us, though it cannot happen directly, but it's coming indirectly. So a lot of opportunities open to us. You will also find it surprising that people, a lot of civil servants have studied law. In fact, after they become civil servants, they have to mandatorily study law. But several civil servants, even before taking the civil services examination, they have done law courses, and those law courses, the study of law actually equips them to be better civil servants, to be in better service. Whether you look at politics, whether you look at social sciences or other aspects of it, law is an area that cannot be turned a blind eye to. It cannot be, you can't blink to law and say that, oh, I'll just get over it. There's one reason, there's a very interesting reason for that also. Not only law strengthens your whole perspective of your rights, duties, understanding of the whole system, but law, one interesting thing is that ignorance of law is not a defense. Ignorance of a fact can be a defense. But nobody can say, sorry, I did not know this law, that is why I violated it. That doesn't work. The ignorance of law is never a defense. So that being the position, the study of law is a very important, it has acquired, much more center stage dimensions, if I can say so. And for that purpose, integrated law courses have played a very, very pivotal and important role in opening up these opportunities for young students who want to choose a life in law. Essentially, really, if you ask me what is the difference in an integrated law course and a conventional traditional law course. So a conventional traditional law course is after the 12th class, you do a graduate degree. That could be your BA, BSc, BCom, or you could be a doctor, engineer. There are a lot of people who take to law after doing engineering or, other areas. So depending on what kind of graduation you are looking at, it'll take 3 to 5 years. And after that, you do a 3-year law course. Usually after the 3-year graduation, that's the 3-year law course. So you take 6 years after your 12th class to do this. Integrated law course cuts down 1 year and allows you to become an LLB. Of course, after that, for practicing law, you have to enroll with the Bar Council. But you are a proficient and professionally equipped to be enrolled as a lawyer after 5 years. But I think more than that difference of 1 year, I think what is important is the 5-year law course. 3-year law course was really not sufficient to teach all laws. So this 5-year law course, the introduction of law from the from the early stages of first year and then second year, and slowly, I have seen some of the curriculums of some of the colleges, and I have noticed that subjects like IPC are divided into 2 or 3 parts, which are comprehensive subjects. So we 3-year law courses do not have that luxury. You have to complete everything in 3 years, so you have to do that. And when you understand it in steps, I think the understanding, a gradual understanding, it's like an organic growth. The opportunity of moot courts that you get, which is a real interaction, mocking the court scenario, the opportunities of internships, going and seeing which is all now part of the curriculum, but more so in integrated law courses, where you have dedicated semesters for internships, where it's mandatory for you to maintain that internship diaries, go see what you have learned from the courtrooms, what courtrooms you have gone to. So this entire curriculum of the integrated law courses helps in understanding law in a much more comprehensive manner, is what I feel. So it's not really about that 1 year, but the traditional law course also serves an important purpose. It's not like the traditional law course has become redundant. It plays a very important role for somebody who wants to say study literature and then get into law, or somebody, because law is also very specialized. It's not general law that one deals with all the time. Now law is every law is very specialized. In fact, we have specialized courts for everything. So, revenue courts are different, matrimonial courts are different, electricity tribunals are different, debt recovery tribunals are different, the company law company proceedings, the insolvency proceedings, every branch of law has now become so massive that it has developed into different tribunals and different sources that ultimately roll into the constitutional courts. So it does help if you want to mix and match and understand, because study of law is not really study of law. Study of law is where law meets life. So meeting life with law, with the study of law, meeting life would really make you a proficient student of law, well equipped to take any future course for yourself, whether you want to be a litigation lawyer or you want to guide organizations and companies how to be on the right side of law, or whatever is your calling, or you want to be an academician, you want to teach law, whatever is your calling, whatever you decide to do is your strength. You must choose something that appeals to you, because my cup of tea is not necessarily your cup of tea. We are all different. And therefore it is incumbent on each of us to find what we like. I strongly believe in what Steve Jobs used to say, that till you don't love what you do, you keep moving till the time you find something that you love, and then you stick to it. Because that is where we will put our heart and soul. Anyways, law is not a subject that you can do just with your mind. This is a profession. This is a profession that is going to take a lot out of you. It takes your heart, your soul, your eyes, your ears, your nose, your lips, your teeth, your tongue, your hair, your nails, everything, from your toenail to the tip of your hair. It takes every part of you. So it has to be something that you love. So these are some of my thoughts. If there are any questions, any comments, I'd be happy to answer them. But this essentially is, I felt that just, the difference in the integrated law course and the conventional law course would be insufficient if I don't speak about taking law as a choice. So I started from there, and I've tried to explain from my experience as to how I perceive the two.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was indeed a wonderful session. And I believe that this class was actually quite practical, and there was a lot to learn from the insights that you gave. It was actually a remarkable session. Thank you so much for this wonderful session, ma'am. Now, to begin with the question and answer session, I would like to inform you all that we had received more than 700 questions as submitted by different stakeholders at the time of their respective registrations. And I also believe that all the attendees would like to get all their queries answered by ma'am. However, due to paucity of time, we are placing only the most frequently asked questions before Aishwarya ma'am in order to have a maximum area of coverage. So with your kind permission, ma'am, shall we begin with the questions now?
Yes, sure, Kavya. 700 questions is quite a lot, but let's start with what we can answer.
So it was indeed a very, tedious task to, cut them down to like a very few questions. So starting with the first question, it has been asked by Richa Bhatt, who's a CLAT aspirant. She asks, which integrated law course is best for the students after class 12? So I believe that most of the light has already been covered by you, as in which one to do after 12. Still, ma'am, your valuable comments on this.
So, Kavya, I'm going to share something. Sorry, I shifted inside because I was running a little low on battery. I'm going to share something that I recently read in a book that I'm reading on the stalwart of law, H.M. Seervai, a phenomenal lawyer, really a doyen of the bar who argued the fundamental rights case, and huge legacy, 17 years Advocate General of Maharashtra. So he quotes Justice Frankfurter's advice to a young man who wanted to join the legal profession was that the best way to prepare for law is to come to the study of law as a well-read person and by cultivation of imaginative faculties, by reading poetry and listening to great music. So Seervai himself, who was a student of literature, and he used to, he in his arguments, he used to break into literature and poetry, and he knew, he could quote John Milton in a very technical, very cold legal preposition. And we have seen, the senior Parasharan, Mr. K. Parasharan, senior advocate, The last we saw him in action was in the Ram Janam Bhoomi matter before the Constitution bench of the Supreme Court. I saw very little of him, because by the time I really got into the profession, he had stopped coming to the court, apart from very little cases. But he breaks into Sanskrit in the middle of his arguments, and then he explains those Sanskrit couplets and Sanskrit shlokas to the best of his to the best of his capacity, and there's such telling instances in Sanskrit that he brings in the middle of an argument. So there's nothing best. The question is that which is the best course for students after 12th class? Nothing is best. Like I said, we have to try to become best version of ourselves. I can't become best version of Kavya. Sakshi ma'am cannot become best version of Professor Yadav. We all have to endeavor to become best versions of ourselves. So in that, I think we should endeavor to identify what are our strengths and try to work on them. So if literature is your calling, poetry, if you want to study philosophy, psychology, please go ahead, by all means, do it. And then come to law if that's what you want to do. Don't let the path define your journey. You define your journey yourself.
Quite motivating, ma'am. And this actually reminded me of a recent statement by the Honorable Chief Justice of India, in which he mentioned that an advocate is the one, whose overall personality is quite vast. It's quite multifarious. He should not be confined into a limited area. So I was reminded of that by your wonderful statement. So, ma'am, should we move on to the next question? So the next question has been asked by Ms. Alisha Chaudhary, and she asks, what is the major difference between LLB and an integrated law course? What is the meaning of integrated law course? Is there any better scope of growth, especially here?
So I think we have covered this already quite a lot. The integrated law course, like I explained, is a 5-year law course. So here you have the graduation and LLB fitted together. And it's 1 year less than the traditional 3-year graduation plus 3-year LLB, but it is an LLB. Both are LLBs. They are both recognized by the Bar Council of India. They are both courses which enable you to be enrolled as an advocate. The spacing of the courses is different. Here, in an integrated law course, you are focused on comprehensive learning of law. First year is basic subjects, but from second year onwards, you have law subjects starting there. So that gives you a better perspective of the subjects of law. And I believe that now the focus is so much in the integrated law courses that the faculty that you have in integrated law courses is also phenomenal faculty. Though I must say the traditional law courses also, we used to have practicing lawyers coming to the colleges as visiting faculties, and they used to take some of the procedural subjects, and their classes used to be overrun. I mean, the students used to be head over heels and trying to fall over each other to attend those classes. So, choose your calling is what I will say. It's not that one is better than the other. Just choose your calling.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving on to the next question, which has been asked by Ms. Talika Gole, who's also a CLAD aspirant, and she asks, what is the unlimited scope and opportunity in integrated law courses? So this particular question demands like a summary or the essence of the entire session.
Yes, so I think we got the questions before the talk, so I think I tried and answered these questions already. The unlimited scope and opportunity is in the study of law. It is not really in the kind of course that you choose. You are choosing to be a student of law for life. You are choosing to be a student of life for life. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind and continue to grow. And I think, what I have discovered the most is law is also a journey in self-discovery. It's not like I knew this path that I was going to traverse. I did not know. It was not like a well thought of plan. In fact, I became a lawyer I chose to study law because I failed a pilot aptitude test. I wanted to join the Air Force as a pilot, but I failed that test. And fortunately, I have an elder brother who's also my professional guru, mentor, and guide. He was the one who introduced the love of law into me, and he said, "Why don't you come here and you'll like it?" And in fact, because I had no plan B, I gave a few competition exams and cleared most of the exams that I took, apart from that pilot aptitude test that I had failed first. But after taking those exams, I thought that law was very good. But let me tell you one more thing, Kavya. If I was given an option to live my life all over again, law would be my first choice. In fact, I feel that I'm incredibly lucky that I did not make through that pilot aptitude test. I feel lucky that I am in a profession of law, and I have loved every step of my journey. It has been a journey in self-discovery. Again, after doing law, I don't know how I decided that. I think it was eccentricity, and I think it was ignorance of a young girl with a lot of dreams in her eyes. I'm from Jodhpur. So I thought I should practice only in the highest court of the country. I wanted to practice there. If I had known that it was going to be so difficult the early years, I would have never decided that. But often, ignorance can be bliss. So you don't know how difficult it is. So what is on your plate? I think what is on your plate today, what is in your hands today, how do you feel about that? And what best you can do with it? I think that should be our focus in life. And if we do what is in our hands today with absolute honesty that it deserves, with absolute integrity. So my takeaways are the 3 capital H's. Hard work, it is a sine qua non. You can go nowhere without hard work. You can't even be the best golgappa maker in town if you're not hardworking.
Right.
Honesty, that's the second H. Honesty, not in the sense that you do no harm to others. Honesty in the sense of what your duty demands of you, the dharma, the honesty in dharma, what your brief demands of you, what honesty to the court, honesty to your opponent, honesty to your client, honesty to your file, to your brief, to your preposition. That is the honesty. And the third H that I feel takes you far is humility. We have to understand and appreciate that it is not all us. Despite all the hard work and despite all the honesty, there is a larger force at play. And that larger force can be accentuated by doing good work, by getting the blessings of your elders and others.
Wonderful, ma'am. This was actually very heart-touching and quite, something that we can actually apply in our practical lives. Thank you, ma'am. Moving on to the next question, which has been asked by Shri Anand Krishna, who's again a CLAD aspirant. He asks, what is the duration, eligibility criteria, and other details of integrated law course? Now we're actually going into the basics.
Yeah, I think this we can skip.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. Yes. Moving on to the next question, which has been asked by Ms. Sonia Rai, who is again a CLAD aspirant. She asks, I want to become a Solicitor General of India. So she wants to step into your field, ma'am. What should I do? Should I opt an integrated law course?
So, Sonia, I am not a Solicitor General of India. I am only an additional Solicitor General of India. But let me tell you that India has so far not had a Solicitor General woman on that position. In fact, as additional Solicitor Generals also in the 75 years of our journey as an independent nation, I'm the 4th one ever to be on this position. So it is not... but let me tell you, I mean, when I joined the profession, I could not even dream that I was going to occupy these positions. These doors don't open to you from the beginning. These doors open to you on the basis of how you define your journey, how you go on your journey. So, and Solicitor General of India is not a permanent job. It's not a permanent post. These are appointments which are made for 3 years. You continue, you gain the experience, you do the best that you can in that position. After all, you are in service to the nation as a Solicitor General of a democratic country. That if you're a Solicitor General of a democratic country, then you are espousing the will of the people. which is reflected in the democratically elected government. So you are doing a very important public duty, public service, and you get to learn a lot in this position. I don't think there's anything particular you can do to, not in the choice of law course for sure. I think that if you, 3 capital H's have worked for me in my journey. I think if you follow that, I think you should become the Solicitor General of India, and maybe the first woman, Sonia, to do that. All the best.
Wonderful, ma'am. Moving on to the next question, which has been asked by Mr. Ayan Ratan, who's again a CLAD aspirant. So we've got a lot of CLAD aspirants over here. He's asking, I'm interested to enter into the teaching career of law after my PG, that is post-graduation. Which course should I opt for in my case?
Again, I think I'm the wrong person to answer that. I think Professor Yadav should be taking that course, because I know nothing else in law apart from the practice of law. That is all I have ever done after doing my LLB and LLM. But this, I think Professor Yadav will be able to answer. But in my humble opinion, the choice of law course integrated versus LLB, graduation plus LLB is not going to make a difference there. I think what you need to love to do is that you should love sharing knowledge. And for sharing knowledge, you will have to get knowledge yourself. So if you want to be an academician of law, then you truly want to be a teacher of law, which is a very, very difficult proposition. Law is such a vast subject, and it is such an organic. It continues to grow because of a constitutional court adds to the law. So it is, you have to constantly, you can't rest on your laurels. You can't rest on your laurels even as a student of law who's practicing law. So if you want to be a teacher of law, then you can't, surely this is going to be a very, it's going to take more hard work from you. It's going to be very demanding. You have to keep yourself updated, abreast. But all the best. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I believe, again, the 3 H's that you just mentioned come in handy even in this case. So moving on to the next question, which has been asked by Srimati Manjula Menon. She asks, do the courses of an integrated law have the same effect as that of a sole course? For example, will my BBA LLB have the same value as another person's LLB or BBA?
Yes, that is correct. So there is no difference for the LLB. So integrated law course or an LLB has no difference in the recognition or the value that is there after completing BA LLB or BBA LLB or graduation plus LLB. You are entitled to be enrolled because Bar Council of India recognizes that qualification. We have a very strong regulatory mechanism. These courses cannot be run without having recognition of the Bar Council of India. So if Bar Council of India, and that is the statutory body which recognizes law courses, after which you are entitled to be enrolled as an advocate or pursue academics or anything else that you want to pursue. So it has the same value in that sense.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Moving on to the next question, which has been asked by Mr. Prabhat Dhar, who's a law faculty at the moment. He asks, what should be the important factor that the students should keep in mind while selecting their integrated law course?
If law is your calling, please go ahead and choose it. I think, and if you want to foray into, we've answered this, I mean, we've discussed this also, that if you've literature or psychology, sociology, medicine, engineering, a lot of engineers, I have a lot of colleagues who are engineers and then have chosen law. And their expertise, especially in arbitration matters, which are relating to, very technical construction projects, etc. Their expertise is by far, heads and shoulders above everybody else. Or people who have studied medicine and taken to law, their expertise in, medical negligence matters or those kind of cases, because the very law is not, it's not a superficial reading of that. It will take you. So, for example, if you're doing a crime case, then also you will go into what is the kind of injury, whether it is an incised wound, lacerated wound, what weapon has caused that, what is the kind of weapons, whether it is a single shotgun kind of an injury or whether it is a 12-gun kind of having multiple pellets in it. What is the kind of weapon? What is the kind of injury? So it needs a lot of specialized knowledge. And I think I think whatever is your calling in law, law is not just, law per se cannot exist in isolation. So whatever is your interest, apart from law, please pursue that and do law together with that. That will become your strength.
Very well said, ma'am. Moving on to the next question, which has been asked by Mr. Gautam Roy, who's a legal researcher. He asks, does the legal industry have more demand for students with integrated law degree?
I'm not really sure about that also. It depends on what college you have studied from. Because, colleges, they build a reputation. So the law college that you have studied from will carry some weight. There are now, campus placements, etc. also for a lot of years that has been going on. So it depends on what are the companies or who from the legal industry is coming to your campus and what kind of opportunities open up to you. But apart from that, if you want a career in litigation, where you have done law from is not going to matter in the long run, because what you do in the courtroom is what matters.
Right, ma'am, exactly. So coming on to our last but never the least question, which has been asked by Ms. Radha Duggal, who's currently a law student. She asks, career and scope-wise, what is the difference between LLB and other integrated law courses?
Again, I think we've discussed this at length. I don't think there is any, any material difference that should weigh with you. I think it's the kind of college that you want to do, and I think your decision to go for an integrated law course versus a graduation plus LLB should be on the basis of what is your interest. Whether you want to go straight away into law and do that comprehensive learning of law, or whether you want to study another subject and then get into law. So there are careers and scopes that open up for both. And in litigation, it really does not matter apart, just apart from that 1 year less in the integrated law course. So to my mind, and here again, I must add this caveat, like I said, I have only ever practiced law. I have done nothing else. So I'm not the right person to be advising on, the job of a law officer in any office, any other corporation firms, etc., or academics. I've really never taught law also. So as a practicing student of law, I don't see any material difference.
Ma'am, that is actually just your humility that you're saying that. But for us, you're actually, an inspiration. And for students like me, especially, like I've recently, cleared my LLB, and I've recently got, with the blessings of Shri Krishna and my beloved teachers, I've recently got enrolled with the Bar Council of India. And even I, want to have someone so inspirational like your good self, ma'am. You're actually an inspiration to all of us. And thank you so much for such a lovely question and answer session, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Kavya. I actually requested Professor Yadav that we should do more question answers, because then it becomes more interactive. So thank you very much for, and it helps me to appreciate how the young minds are thinking. So thank you for having this. It was an absolute privilege.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now,
ma'am, very soon, Kavya, very soon, ma'am, we are going to have another session, and definitely we will invite you on the, different topic, and especially that will be based on human rights. Because I know that we are very, very good, speaker on human rights. So we will be conducting that session, and you will have a lot of questions to reply over there.
Thank you so much, sir. I will certainly join, because frankly, yes, I also enjoy, enjoy doing these interactive sessions more, because that helps me to understand, appreciate, learn, understand the thought process. So thank you very much for giving me this opportunity. I have a lot of interest in human rights. I've done a lot of work on them also. So I'll be happy to join whenever you have it, sir.
Ma'am, we would love to have you on board. Now, I feel honored to inform you all that our Geeta Ratan family has been working very hard on a project from the last 6 months. Now, this project is a video which depicts the insights, the vision, as well as the achievements of Geeta Ratan International Business School. So let us all witness this wonderful video together.
A promise is what you make to yourself. A promise to explore, innovate, and achieve. It's a driving force that leads you on a path of success. It's all about reshaping your skills, discovering your inspiration, and accelerating it further to uncover your inner potential. At GIBS, we sow the seeds of the global leader, the leaders who behold the power of influencing the world with their expertise and experience. Intellectual, emotional, and psychological leadership. Considering these factors, we offer 5 significant courses that are divided into MBA, MBA International Business, BBA First and Second Shift in Department of Management, and BBA LLB Integrated, BA LLB Integrated in Center for Legal Studies.
In a dynamic and ever-changing world, the real challenge is to stay relevant. The skill that is most valued in post-pandemic era is creativity. It is the creative solutions that help us in facing challenges. Can creativity flourish within the boundaries of classroom teaching? I don't think so. We at GIBS create experiences that blur the boundaries between theoretical and practical knowledge. We believe in training professionals who can take decisions and bring positive changes. Come and experience the world with us, and let us together make your dream a reality.
We make sure that every student has access to grab all the opportunities that come their way. Here, you will witness diverse kinds of roles offered by companies in various sectors. A student-centric Industry Institute Partnership Cell, IIPC, brings corporate leaders and students on a common platform to be exposed to multiple opportunities in the professional world. The alumni portal of GIBS connects all the alumni on one single platform, ensuring we are connected wherever we go. We call it the unity of GIBS.
I personally believe professionalism is something which comes with the course of time, but faculty and the management of GIBS make sure with their entire curriculum, with their entire process, they involve a lot of personality development practices that they have done. I was able to see myself as a true professional, and that's kind of training they've given us throughout our course time duration, and even after that. In fact, if I talk about their placement cell, which I was a part of, I was a student coordinator of them. I was the first person I was placed, and then before my final exams were there, I was holding an offer.
We have different clubs and societies to nurture the talent, growth, and confidence of students.
Hi, my name is Kavya Budhiraja and I'm pursuing law from Geeta Ratan International Business School, Delhi. The reason as to why I chose GIBS was because I was really fascinated looking at the ranking the college holds. GIBS is undoubtedly one of the top-notch colleges of GGSIP University, Delhi.
Round the year, intra-college and inter-college events are scheduled to give a platform to students to showcase their talent and release stress. moments of cheer, celebration and solidarity are what we treasure for our life. It's a promise of providing you everything at the finest. At GIBS, we don't teach, we create leaders of tomorrow.
Well, I'm truly grateful to each and every member who has actually given their time and dedication into making this long dreamt project a huge success. And I thank all of you for making this project actually come true. Thank you so much, everyone. I now request everyone to kindly fill in the feedback form, which will be shortly available in the chat box below. Now, I would like to request Dr. Neelam Singh, Associate Professor Law, GIBS, to kindly give a vote of thanks. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Kavya. Aishwarya ma'am, kindly allow me to go ahead.
Please, ma'am, by all means.
Thank you, ma'am. As it is always said, if you are more fortunate than others, build a longer table, not a taller fence. A very warm good evening to one and all present here. The best and most beautiful thing in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt by the heart, and thank you is one such prayer among them. I, Dr. Neelam Singh, Faculty of Law Department, on behalf of the Geeta Ratan International Business School, feel honored to propose a word of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of those who worked hard to make this event happen. I consider it a great privilege to thank our honorable chief guest, management, faculty, students, and everyone gathered here who have witnessed it as a memorable and successful event. First of all, I extend my most sincere thanks to the Almighty God for making today's event a resounding success. With His blessing and grace, we could make this event what it was. Today, my words are not enough to express my gratitude. I extend my hearty word of thanks to our today's chief guest, Ms. Aishwarya Bhati, Additional Solicitor General of India. Ma'am, thank you so much for sparing the time from your busy schedule and gracing the event with your thought-provoking address, setting a perfect platform for our students. You have given a very in-depth insight for the opportunities in the integrated law courses. You have beautifully explained the traditional and contemporary law courses, the methods, the different law. Thank you, ma'am. Further, I would like to thank our Honorable Vice Chairman, Mr. Anirudh Jindal, sir. Sir, thank you so much for motivating us to conduct such an informative talk. You are an inspiration for the entire institute. We will ever remain grateful to you, and we thank you for being with us today. Thank you, sir. Furthermore, I would like to thank our respected director, Dr. Hanuman Sharma, for his word of wisdom and radiant a source of energy within us. He is a strong pillar of the entire institute and always support us, stand by us, guide us, and lead us. We feel proud and thank you for making us feel happy with your presence at this event. My heartfelt thanks go out to the head of the department, Dr. B.K. Yadav, sir. This event has achieved its desired goals under his able guidance. So thank you so much, sir. An event of this dimension cannot be happen overnight. The wheels start rolling month in advance. We feel we have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very motivated and dedicated faculty, especially the event coordinators, Dr. Kalpana Devi and Ms. Sakshi Gupta, to organize such an illuminative event. I cannot thank everyone enough for the involvement they have shown and the willingness they have expressed to make on the completion of the task beyond their comfort zone. So thank you, team. Last but not the least, I thank all the students and participants for showing their interest to attend this event and participate enthusiastically. Yes, I cannot forget to say thanks to Ms. Kavya. She is the wonderful host for this event. So thank you, Kavya. Once again, thank you very much to all assembled here. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so
Over
much.
to you, Kavya.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It is always wonderful to hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we have come to an end of today's wonderful, wonderful session. Indeed, I personally feel blessed to hear Ms. Aishwarya Bhati on the topic, and I believe that every attendee must have got immense information. I once again extend my sincere reverence on behalf of Center for Legal Studies, Geeta Ratan International Business School, to you, ma'am, for kindly agreeing to spend your precious time here with us and making this evening indeed lovely for all of us. And I'm also thankful to all the attendees for putting up through your provoking questions in the episode in order to make it even more vibrant. Thank you so much, everyone. Please do not forget to kindly fill in the feedback form, which is available in the comment section below. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful evening ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.